morning, Gladiators. Today is Friday, February 26th. Did you know that today, in 1962, Bailey versus Patterson was decided by the Supreme Court? It ruled anyone on public transportation had the right to not be segregated. I'm Natalia Loga, and here's Kate with This Week in News.
Thanks, Natalia. On Wednesday, the FDA confirmed that the single-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine is safe and effective even against severe cases of COVID-19 and may reduce the spread among vaccinated people as well. The vaccine, which completely prevented hospitalizations and deaths in a large clinical trial, could be authorized as soon as this weekend. Earlier this week, the U.S. reached 500,000 deaths due to COVID-19, although cases have been declining globally for the past 6 weeks. A new report has found that police had no legal reason to stop Elijah McClain, a black man who was placed in a chokehold and injected with ketamine by Colorado police. McClain died 3 days later in the hospital. The officers involved faced no charges because prosecutors said they couldn't prove they were responsible for McClain's death or used unjustifiable force. The investigative report, released by city officials on Monday, detailed failures on the parts of the police officers who stopped McClain, the paramedics who arrived on the scene, and the police investigators involved in covering for the responding officers. On January 5th, an FBI memo warning that extremists were calling for violent attacks on the Capitol was sent to D.C. and Capitol Police. When U.S. Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund was asked at the Tuesday Senate hearing on the riot why more action wasn't taken following the memo, he responded that he and other leaders hadn't seen it before the attack, raising more questions about security surrounding the insurrection. Over to you, Maddie.
This week's schedule will be normal, however, Northwood is changing its format for its Wednesday virtual check-ins. Instead of class period time slots, you will now have a 1-hour block to meet with each individual department.
For the final week of Black History Month, we will be recognizing Guyon Stewart Bluford Jr. Dr. Bluford, or better known as Guy Bluford, is an American aerospace engineer. He was the first black astronaut as well as the first African American to go to space. Serving as a mission specialist, he boarded the space shuttle Challenger in 1983. He logged in more than 688 hours in space over the course of 4 missions.
Before working for NASA in the 1970s, he served in the Air Force and became a highly decorated fighter pilot during his tour in Vietnam. He also obtained a PhD in aerospace engineering. Not only did he serve his country, but he paved the way for many black men and women of NASA by breaking the color barrier in the astronaut industry. He later retired in 1993. If you are interested in learning more about Guy Bluford, click the link below for a video.
Thank you. Now here's Amaris Shipman with this week's Black History Month interview.
Hello everyone, I'm Amaris Shipman with WNHS, here to share student voices on Black History Month. Our question of the day is, how will you celebrate Black History Month this year?
I would celebrate Black History Month by making people more aware of it, because people know about it but they tend to ignore it, and also raising awareness but also just trying to educate myself more.
I will be celebrating Black History Month this year by looking back at all of the amazing accomplishments done by Black people all across the globe, including Katherine Johnson and many others.
I will celebrate Black History Month by taking the time to educate myself more on Black history, accomplishments, and focus my attention and support Black activists.
I will celebrate Black History Month by reading and watching videos that talk about Martin Luther King and other Black African Americans who did a lot to stop racism and segregation. This will help me think about ways that I can shape the future, and just like they did.
School may be virtual, but our Gladiator artists are still hard at work. This week, we are highlighting sophomore Emilio Velasquez from 2D Studio Art 1. He enjoys to work with both graphite and colored pencils and is inspired by Miss Little. When he is not making art, Emilio loves shoes. Take a few seconds to enjoy his amazing pieces.
What amazing work! Up next, we have some very important information for all seniors.
First, most colleges require FAFSA to be submitted by March 1st, so get that in.
Speaking of college, if you are still undecided, there will be webinars about the pathways and programs at universities at Shady Grove from March 8th to 10th. Check out these programs. You could find one you end up loving. Go to tinyurl.com/USG2021web to register.
Also, this year, yard signs will be purchased for all seniors to celebrate graduation. However, you must identify whether you'll need a yard sign or a door hanging based on where you live. All seniors should submit the form below in order to get a sign. Please submit this by April 16th so that yard signs can be delivered by the end of April.
Finally, the senior class SGA is hosting a virtual game night on Tuesday, March 2 at 8 p.m. Games will include Pictionary, Among Us, Kahoot, and Cards Against Humanity. The Zoom information is linked below.
Speaking of games, here's a teacher interview with Coach Meador from Amon Hoy.
Favorite movie, Die Hard. It's kind of intense. It's funny. Funny and intense. When I was younger, I know I wanted to be in the military. I was always thinking about being a firefighter because I just like what they stood for, and the fact that they were saving lives. The biggest lessons that I learned in my life is that the more you give, the more you receive. I felt most proud of myself, having been an educator for a while, right around graduation. Graduation that day or that graduation week, and believe it or not, at the beginning of the school year, because it gives me an opportunity to say to myself, okay, I have more seeds to plant. One meaningful quote that I've read or heard, there's so many, but since this is WNHS, I'll say life is a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get.
This past Saturday, 6 gladiators attended the Maryland Association of Student Council's legislative session as delegates representing Northwood High School. Here, they voted for legislation for the statewide SGA and narrowed the field of 4 to just 2 finalists for the position of Maryland State's Mom, currently held by Jason Wu from Montgomery County's very own Poolsville High School. The 2 finalists are Kevin Bokum from Washington County and Driti Vadlakonda from Howard County. They will now be presented to the Maryland Governor Larry Hogan, who will have the final decision.
Now, Saturday, April 17th is Montgomery County Public Library's annual Vinyl Record Day. For this event, MCPL is seeking local musicians to perform in their Make Music Montgomery contest. Musicians will be judged by local celebrities for a chance to win up to $100. If you are interested in performing, you must submit your application and work by March 3rd. See the link below to apply.
Did you know that the Northwood Library takes book recommendations by students? Here's a submission. Isabella recommends You Should See Me in a Crown, a great book by Leah Johnson. Thank you for your submission, Isabella.
That's not the only thing you should be submitting. If you're looking to break out your camera, you can enter the Jostens Photo Contest. It is open to all students and has some great prizes. The deadline to enter is March 1st. For more information, you can go to jostensphotocontest.com.
Finally, the deadline to submit the Choose Respect Video PSA contest has been extended until March 14th. Check out the link below and get filming. We don't want you to miss out on this opportunity.
March 1st is the final day to purchase your yearbook for $90. After Monday, the price will go up by $5. You can go to jostens.com to order your yearbook. Payment plans are available.
On the topic of the yearbook, please go to ybkplus.com and submit a portrait to be featured in the book. Yearbook wants to cover all staff and students, so send in a photo today. Now, before we close the show, here's the SGA recap.
Hey Gladiators, I'm Winnie and I'm class of 2024 class president, and this is our weekly rundown video from last week's SGA meeting. Last week, Northwood delegates attended the mass legislative session and the SMUB nominating convention, helping to pick our finalists Hannah Oluni and Henry Kay. The election will take place on April 21st. Our first ever SGA Instagram takeover also took place last week, and we are excited to have more in the future where we would pick another member of the SGA to answer story questions on our main Instagram page. The class of 2024 also recently started our Tumblr fundraiser, and we would love for you to support us. The link will be on the class of 2024 Instagram bio. Have a great weekend.
Now that's it for this week, Gladiators. I'm Natalia Loga.
And I'm Maddie Brennan.
For the Northwood Update.